Hey,
I know I am. What did I win? The low self-esteem. No, I don't.
your prize is you get to buy us all breakfast.
Well, okay, next time. But this time you buy me clothes, yeah?
So, Brexit?
So, from what I can remember from last time I heard about it, is Theresa May's proposition got fully denied.
It's all bad.
It was like, I think it was like 403 or 404 to like 200 something against her. And then when it was like, do we want to keep Theresa May as the main person to be putting this proposition against us, everyone was like, yeah, let's keep her in. Why? If the majority of people are going to go against her proposition, why are they going to keep her?
Because look at all the scrutiny she's facing. Who else would want to be in that line of fire?
Good point,
Well,
but
I've got to ask.
Let's let this person
why are we
no
having
one-
someone who doesn't want to leave the EU, make us leave the E EU?
because she wanted to take on that role. It's never going to be easy for anyone, and whoever steps into that role is going to look like a bitch.
Just because most of the people who did want Brexit, like, just decided to quit afterwards.
That's a good point.
I still
Did you
can't.
want it when the vote was happening?
I didn't vote, but I don't want to leave. There's no
You didn't
point.
wanna
No, 'cause it's going to just cause too many issues. It may be better in the long run, but for the short run...
You know how everyone's talking about a second referendum?
Yes.
I voted Remain. If there's a second referendum,
referendum.
I voted Leave.
No.
A second-
No, I'm sorry. You should. It was decided
No, but I think
democratically.
democratically you can have a second vote. That's still democratic.
But then what happens if we vote to Remain?
Well, then that's
A second-
now people are more informed of what actually would happen.
No,
But what happens if we vote Remain? That's one each. So if we remain, that's still not democratic because that's 50-50. It means you have to have a third. You know, you ever do rock paper scissors? If I lose do rock paper scissors, that was second.
Yeah.
He wins one, I win one. Who's the winner? What do you do?
No, but we know more now. Than
No,
we
You lose the first time, so then you just keep repeating the process
Yeah.
until you're back where you want to be. Because
And
how,
also-
how ridiculous would it be if we were to do a second
But there was
referendum?
a lot of propaganda the first time, and now people can actually see what's going on for real and what actually would happen.
But okay, what happens then if people do then vote stay? It's all just forgotten about and brushed
then
under
we
the rug.
remain until someone else brings it up. I think that's democracy.
But if just because
I mean, saying like,
No, but
oh, we're never changing our mind. It's happening now. You don't get a say anymore.
no,
I
because,
don't.
well,
That
because,
sounds
peop-
less
no, because
democratic to me.
people voted on it though. That's the thing. The decision, people got their answer, and now just because things are difficult, which we knew it would be, and because it's so hard to get any sort of deal out of this, we should just try again.
Also, can I add to that?
Well,
Can I add
I
to
think because it's not delivering what was promised. Yeah.
But can I add to the point which Dan made in the last bit we spoke about? He said people never point the finger at themselves, they point the finger at like organisations and people. If people didn't do the research, that's their own fault. Nothing was said to outline. Everyone complains about Nigel Farage about the bus. It didn't say we are, it said we could. Learn to read. Like, take an English class.
People in
Don't be so ignorant.
I will say though, I tried doing some research on it, and wherever you look, there is no correct answer. So
No.
the whole thing was just
No,
like,
but there isn't a correct answer. That's what I mean. Like you saying, there's propaganda everywhere. We don't know what happens if we go out. We don't know if we can't see in the future, so we don't know if it's going to be good. So there's no such thing as a right and wrong answer with this. And I think it was voted on leave. So I think we have to leave.
yeah.
Yeah, but the majority of people who voted leave, there has been things about like people have been asking like, do you know what will happen if we leave? And it's like, yeah, we get our country back and all this shit. It's like, you don't know what you know.
No, they don't know what they're talking about. But if 55% of the population don't know what they're talking about, it's still 55% of the population. You have to listen because we're a democracy.
That is the point in democracy.
Even if the 55, 50, I think it was 52%. Even if 52% of the country is wrong, you still have to follow it because that's the system we're in.
That's a
The
good
whole question is, do you change the system?
Well,
Maybe.
I like your idea on voting for policy rather than like.
Well, that is my personal thing. You vote on a policy rather than a political party.
People should have more freedom to vote for more things, certainly.
Yeah.
But that's a very good point, actually, because let's say, for example, we did another referendum, and then all of a sudden we're then staying in the EU. Does that not then undermine the people who wanted to leave initially,
Yeah.
and then almost dilute what democracy is? Because that's then saying, if we don't get the answer we want the first time, we'll keep doing it until we get it right.
Exactly.
A decision has been made,
Yeah.
so you should stand by that and deal
very
with the
dangerous.
fallout,
Yeah.
because that is the point of democracy.
Also, might I add, the EU referendum got more votes than any political party, like more than in the last however many years. So more people voted on that than they do for Prime Minister. So it's not like you can't even be like, oh, it's unfair, it didn't get very many votes. It actually got more than an election normally does. So I don't know. I was Remain. I still am Remain. Like I still want to Remain, but I think the vote was to leave. So I think we have to leave. Otherwise, it undermines the whole democracy. I kind of makes it a bit of a joke.
I voted leave purely because there was just so much mess around it. I just, in the end, I thought I've got to trust my gut, and my gut said I don't trust Cameron for whatever reason. I don't know, because I didn't know a great deal about him, but it was never so much about reasons, like all the different arguments and stuff. It was more to do with the fact that if this is an issue, maybe it would be better to leave, because historically, how did our country do when we were a part of this bigger group? And I thought, surely in the long run, because we're always going to be trading with different countries, it's in every country's best interest to continue trading with England.
But the way they do it through the EU is a lot more efficient than if we do it by ourselves.
Only for now, because we don't have those structures in place. But when we did, we had good trade, and we had a lot of industry in our country.
People aren't going to stop trading with us just because we're like the EU. Like the EU, the Europe is like a part of the world. There's a lot more of the world than just Europe. It's just our closest neighbours. And the thing is, like, look at how much like Germany and stuff want us to stay in. It's because we're more important to them than the EU is to us.
Yeah, it benefits.
Like, I think in the future it will become a lot more powerful, and it will become kind of more one collective, and it will be. But at the moment, they need us more than we need them at the moment. That will change in the future, which is why I wanted to remain. But
I think in the long run there'll be strength within our country trying to bring people together, because with every end there is new beginnings. So there are opportunities that will arise that no one's even thought about yet.
yeah,
So rather than thinking, how do we stay in the EU, maybe more people should be thinking, right, what's the next step? What are the new opportunities there?
Well,
New areas of trade, new freedoms that we may not have had because of what was dictated to us.
that's another thing which actually I've kind of thought. Because you imagine if everyone in the country put their ideas on the table, what they wanted for the best possible Brexit, rather than just be like, oh, can we have a second referendum? If everyone kind of got together and was like, this is kind of what we want from Brexit, these are what we're not willing to compromise on, this is what we're willing to compromise on from Remain side, then it'll be a more rounded.
There has to have
Brexit
already
deal.
been a lot of those conversations, but people are just dragging their heels.
I don't know. When you say you wanted more freedom, I feel like
It's not that I wanted more freedom.
I feel like the freedom that would be given wouldn't be for us. It would be because like they can get rid of a lot of our human rights, workers' rights, animal rights.
But you don't know that.
Well, they can rewrite it because
Oh.
like our Human Rights Act that we follow is governed by the EU, and it's something that we all appreciate because it's
Well,
actually like
Yeah,
protects us.
but then again, this is a certain thing. Like, we are a democracy, so we can vote on it. Is another thing. But plus, as well, a lot of people who vote Remain look at it in a very negative way. Oh, it could go completely shit, but you could be left with a better human rights policy.
Well, it depends how much you trust.
Well, yeah, it does depend. On
It's good to worry about these things though. If
But
you don't
again,
think about them.
yeah.
Well, I think looking at a Conservative government, they wouldn't want workers' rights to be protected, would they? They would want to get people working for less money. Because that makes sense to them.
There's so many workers in this
capitalist
country. I don't think that would sit.
No,
long.
no,
That would be riots on the streets.
Yeah. It would work.
That's arguably why there's a lot of unemployment, because the last time everyone had jobs is when everyone voted to have a higher wage, because everyone was employed, and there was jobs still free. But now that there isn't, and now there's like so much unemployment, you don't have as much leverage to say that, because when so many people rely on the government to give them money for unemployment, it gives you less power to vote on having a higher wage increase.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
what I'm saying, right?
going back to actually what you said about what I think, this is why as well, I think it should be vote on a policy, not a party.
Mm.
If you know what, because imagine if that came in, that'd be so much better.
Well, I mean, I think most people would vote to have most of their human rights protected
Oh no,
to a standard that the EU
Human
was
rights should be
doing.
a concrete fact. There should be no debate over human rights, apart from maybe more rights to people and less control over people's freedoms.
Well, I
Yeah,
think-
more rights makes things complicated. Though.
Mm.
well, I doubt they'd give you like a right to water, to have free water. I don't think that would happen.
No.
like I mean, it is in Ireland. But
Do you ever
it's
hear
not
that
here.
guy?
And I doubt they would include that.
You ever hear that head honcho guy made a statement about? He was like the head honcho of Nestle or something, or he's high up in it.
Yeah.
Said that water is not a human right.
No, well, it's not technically.
You stick something in a bottle and slap a label on it. I guess it's anyone's product.
Yeah, they tried to patent fennel. You know the plant.
Yeah.
Because they said we've discovered these medicinal properties of fennel, so now it's ours. No one else can have it.
Ridiculous.
Like, I don't know.
I do think it should be more vote on policy though, just because it makes it a lot more transparent.
It does.
That was the problem that people had with the EU, was there was lack of transparency, and a lot
And
of
it
people
wasn't
don't
dem-
actually know what it does.
And it wasn't democratic. Like, you don't vote for whoever's in charge of it.
There are
That-
elected
that-
people in the EU.
Like, that's why a lot of people voted Labour, because we didn't control our own laws, which is what people didn't like.
You do elect an EU representative, but a lot of people don't vote, and there's not much awareness of it.
Oh no, but the actual president isn't elected.
Is it elected by the
No,
EU members?
it's essentially just, okay, you do it. People just apply for it like a job.
You've got to be
Who
part of that
chooses?
clique.
Literally, I don't know. This is why people didn't like it, because there's not enough information saying to go around about the EU.
There's
They're
never
not
enough
elected, and this is like what was, and this is another thing where I think the Brexit went through. A lot of people are like, oh, it's just racism, and they're like, oh, you're racist if you vote leave. Most of the people weren't voting on the whole race thing. It was brought into question a lot.
Some people were.
So, no, some people were, but it's
Not
brought into
everyone.
question a lot because often the loudest people are the racists, because if you're wrong, you have to be like shout,
Yeah.
Oh,
to try and make yourself right.
How would they? That must have been some really like stupid naive shit. Because they're like, oh, I don't like these Europeans, but if we're in the EU, we are Europeans.
Yeah, exactly. But essentially, like one of the biggest thing why people left is because we didn't make our own laws. That was the biggest reason, because there was a poll on it afterwards about why people left. That was the biggest reason by a large margin.
Which would probably.
That they wanted the UK to control their own laws and their own
I thought
politics.
it would have been immigration.
No, this is what I mean. A lot of
I
people
guess
think.
that's the stigma behind it.
Yeah, a lot of people think it is immigration and it's not that, and I think that's another reason why the Brexit Party won, because not enough people identified the actual reason why people were leaving. Because every time someone went to go and speak to a Brexiter, oh, you're stupid, you're racist, when it should have been, you try and understand why they want to leave, and then get into a dialogue with them and tell them, well, this. Then it might have changed a few people's minds. But because everyone's like, oh, everyone voting leave is just racist, which is not the case at all, it led to
It's easy.
it led to the Brexiters becoming more determined, and the Remainers were actually the stupid party in it, because they were just like, we're gonna win. Everyone who's voting
Not a
leaves
lot
is
of them
racist.
vote.
I think
'cause
everyone was
they
equally
assumed it. Wouldn't
Yeah, exactly.
So,
everyone was equally as clueless as the other. But then to try and get traction, it's easier for people to just hide behind something and then point fingers and just say for this reason you are wrong.
Yeah, like the Leave had a campaign, the Remain didn't. That's where it went wrong.
In the sense that nobody knew what the fuck they were talking about. Where does it stand? Like, we educate everybody in this. Like, if we're gonna make such a drastic decision, everyone needs to know what the fuck is going on.
Well,
See,
there were lots of forecasts, like economists, like were predicting what would happen, and there was lots of information there. And I don't know, and we know what it's like to be in the EU, so there was a lot of information there anyway.
There's got to be more transparency with government, I think.
I mean, there was information if you wanted to look for it about what would happen.
Yeah, but if it's such a
Could,
drastic decision and that you have to look for information, not everyone's going to do that.
Oh,
if you
okay.
get given information like this is going to be happening,
Well, no,
this is the pros and cons
I
against it.
will argue though, you should always find your own information. Don't just take what someone says to you.
Yeah,
Okay.
obviously, yeah, but like if someone's like, we got a choice, we either stay it or leave the EU, and it was like, almost there.
You see,
So I suppose instead of like saying, oh, vote for Leave or vote for Stay, there's like an actual description of what that actually would mean. And
Well, like, I kind of like imagine kind of a scenario like this though. Like, it wouldn't be fair, and I imagine a lot of people would like it. But what about if part of the voting process is you have to like do a test to show your political awareness? So, but when I say test, I don't mean an
Is it sort of
an
like-
in-depth A-level essay test. I mean like so. For example, you've got to like know what the key ideas of Conservatives are, Labour, Lib Dems, or your local constituents. So like if like in Wales, the Welsh Party or Scottish
So
Party.
would it be like every time you want to vote, you have to like re-register, but you have to register to say that you know what you're voting for?
Yes.
Okay.
So it would literally just be like, okay, so Conservatives, their main policies are this, Labour's are this. Do you know what they are essentially?
Mm-hmm.
So because so many people, especially in the older generation, stick to a party. Are like, oh, this is my party, I vote for it, which is completely wrong. You shouldn't pick a party and stay with it like a football team. You should go between parties when the policies are correct. And I know Conservatives support the rich, Labour support the poor. That's sometimes not the case in the policies if you look at them. So you shouldn't pick sides. It's not a football team. So I think doing that kind of test would then highlight different areas of it and how
Any
much you know.
excuse to bring in a football quote.
Hey, football!
online tests do actually exist though online, and
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
I think I came out green on it, but I still voted Labour because they're more likely to get in than the Green Party.
yeah.
But
But that's what I mean. It should be something like.
but it would actually get the Greens a lot more votes if you had to do it that way, because a lot of people do support them ideas, but they
Yeah.
don't vote because there's no chance of it ever happening.
Yeah, so you either take a test on what policies you want, and then it comes out. Jesus. so then it comes out with a party for you, or it gives you an information, or it tests your information, and then you decide yourself. Either or. But then the argument against that is, what about people who aren't in a position to get educated?
Like ableist, like it's only a few.
Yeah, like because not everyone is in a position to get educated to know these things. Does that mean they're not worthy of a vote? Which of course they are, because they're still a person.
Is there a thing where, say if you, so yeah, you're not able to get education in this,
Yeah.
so like if you want to go and vote for the change of your country,
Mhm.
can you go through a process where you get educated in this particular subject, and then you choose what you want to go through from there?
Well, that's where like the whole thing, like a system could ask you questions on based on what you want policy wise, and then it determines it for you. But then I imagine that's quite risky, and
Yes, that's, you have to put like a really heavy
that's
system
that's such a situation. But it is a difficult one. But I do think a lot of people just blindly vote, which is another thing wrong. And also, I do think we should be on an age where you should stop voting.
A lot of I think people like vote with how they feel as well, mainly. So-
Or
so
just
if you have a good feeling about
purely
the person leading it.
purely based on opinion and fact.
So we just walks in like head to tails, ding, okay, that one.
We should just employ your nan to roll the country.
Absolutely not. But like, literally, I think if you get to, if you get to like 70, 75, I think if you get to like 70, 75, you should be able to vote.
Oh my god, you were just saying like, oh, you know, we're gonna
It did
have it open to people who can't, like,
I
who aren't
know,
able to
I know.
comprehend.
But the effects of that vote aren't going to. The people are not likely to be alive.
I don't think there's any way you'd be able to push that through yet, though.
That's why we need dictator power.
How do you determine that though?
How do you tell me what?
Like if someone at the age of 75 is not going to live for another 10 years?
How? Yeah, no, you can't determine. But how would you determine that?
So it's like a
how do you
climate
determine that 18? Is it 18 or is it 16?
It depends on what you vote for. Because if it's something about pensions and stuff like that, or like elder living, then yeah, you're obviously going to vote for that because it's going to affect you. Like if you're not allowed to vote with you that age, what's the point?
Like I do think like the age gap is extremes, and it shouldn't be extremes because either the young side and you just don't know, or you're not going to vote, or you're too old and you'll just go with what you've got on all your life, and you're not likely to be aware of what's current because you're not in the workplace. You've already got a house. You're not looking for a mortgage. That kind like real life stuff which policies actually affect.
What about pensions, though? That's what most elderly will vote for.
Yeah, they'll vote for pensions and stuff like that, but then so will the younger people because
Yeah,
that's
I'd
something in
definitely
their future.
I'd vote for a pension.
If you know what I mean, so that's what I mean.
Yes.
The middle kind of section is they're the ones who are most informed is going to be affected the most. Like yes, you say the old people need to vote for pensions, but the people who are going to be getting to that pension age is probably more necessary because they're the ones who are going to be living through it for longer. And also,
I don't know.
also you have to wrap this up. But also, you could do a thing like with university where, like, once you're in like a pension bracket, it doesn't